Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone, oh, I think my teeth are yellow. Because then when the day that they aren't your friends anymore, they're going to be like, oh, your teeth are yellow. They're going to use that against you, and it's going to destroy you. Because
hold up.
Yeah.
Swirl.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I know you missed this face. So throughout this video, I'm probably going to be messing with my nose ring just because it's a new nose ring and it has to adapt to my face. No, I made that up. I really personally don't know why it likes to slide down as I move, so I'll probably be pushing it up every once in a while. But today, this video is going to be about just building your confidence, knowing who you are, and just fall in love with yourself. Because recently I been asked questions about like how I am so confident in myself. If you have me on Snapchat and stuff, you know that sometimes I post without filters and things like that, no makeup, and I just know that I'm just beautiful, like inside and out. And then this other girl, she kind of just was like, yeah, I'm not like that. I wish I could be, but I'm not, you know. And my biggest pet peeve, number one of them, not the first biggest pet peeve of myself, but one of them, is when a girl is like confident, like not confident in themselves, and they like kind of just say like to me like, oh, I wish I was like you, or I wish you know, I kind of felt like, you know, I was that beautiful or whatever, just sort of comparing themselves to me in a way like a lower standard. Because I've never walked around thinking I was better than anyone ever. Like I in all my years of life, I've never like walked around and told myself like, oh, I'm better than that girl, or, you know, she's less than me. I always grew up thinking and knowing that we were all equal, literally. So personally, I never compare anyway. Even if like some people compare and contrast, they're like, oh, you know, you have this, I have this nice car, you don't have a car, I have a house, you don't have a house. I've never been that type of person either. So I'm not digging up my nose, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna be situating my nose ring, I'm sorry, throughout this video. If it gets too annoying, I'm probably gonna take it out, because, you know, like I said, it's just like, I don't know, it likes to slip down. I feel like I just need to tighten it. So this video is going to be about like things that I went through growing up. Number one, like kind of like a little story time, but a short story time to just like give you guys an update, like just like an overview on how I had to learn to become confident in myself regardless of what people thought. So when I was younger, I used to be bullied. Let's just be honest. Let's just spill the tea. I was bullied. I was bullied for a lot of different things. When I was younger, I didn't have my two front teeth, which I have now. These two front teeth, they were rotten. So I had to get them taken out when I was younger, around like 5 or 7, I would say 7 years old. Or I think I've gotten them removed when I was younger, but I didn't have them. They didn't grow back until I was like 10. I'm not even gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm gonna keep it straight up. I didn't have my teeth until I was like 10. So I think I got them pulled out maybe like 5 or 6. I can't remember. I know I was like around 5 or 6. I wasn't like a baby. And they didn't grow back until I was like 10, literally. And I remember like being in school, and you know, boys are cruel. Let's just be honest. Boys are cruel. Especially back then. They were picking on me like, oh, you don't have no teeth. We're just gonna take the nose ring out. The nose ring's just not gonna be in this video with us today. So they were like, you don't have no teeth, you know, you're really dark. They used to like talk about my skin complexion. I'm just gonna be honest with you, like I guess I'm spilling the tea. Like, I know some people who are watching this video probably know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about, who I'm referring to, picking on me and my skin tone. But back then, light skin girls was in. Let's just be honest. Lighter girls was in. Like, darker girls was not in. Like, melanin was not in at the time. Now, melanin's everywhere. Melanin's on Instagram. Melanin's there. Melanin's here. Like, oh, melanin. Oh, ooh, dark. But it wasn't that back then when I was younger. When I was 8, 9, 10, 7, it was not in. Like, if you was not light skinned, you was ugly. Like, you were just ugly. Let's just be honest. And if you guys know, you lived in that time with me, then you know what I'm talking about. You was not cute if you had a little brown, you was just a tint of brown, you was not cute. You had to be light skin. Light skin was the right skin, like people say light skin is the right skin. I personally don't believe that. I didn't believe that. Not because I'm not light skinned, but it's just like I feel like some light skinned girls, they weren't all that. Let's just be honest. And I'm not talking about in general. I'm talking about in general. Like, I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm just saying, like, you could have been light skinned, but you still wasn't nice. Like, your attitude was off. You walking around and you just too in love with yourself. Like, you just telling yourself you all that in a bag of chips when you wasn't. Like, when your demeanor starts to change because of how you feel about yourself, it's one thing to be conceited, and then there's one thing to be confident. These girls back then was conceited. They were not confident, they were conceited. They walk around and would like talk about how, oh, you black, oh, you this, and I'm, I could do this, I could do that, you know what I mean? And I used to just be like, I used to believe it because I was younger. And like I said, when everyone gets into your head, a lot of time it's easy to take it and run with it, you know what I mean? Because that's what they're telling you every single day of your life. And I used to talk to and confide in my grandmother at the time. Rest in peace, she's no longer alive. But I used to talk to her, and she used to tell me, like, maybe they're picking on you because they like you. Some of them probably like you. But she was like, as far as the girls, like, you kind of just have to find a place in your heart that you're safe and you love, and tell yourself you're beautiful. Look in the mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful. And when you get to that point, no one can bring you down. Like, and it was nothing to me when I was younger. Like, I didn't really understand what she was saying. But today, I do. Over time, I literally just had to realize, like, you can be the most beautiful person in the world. Even in the social media stage and the famous people, they get talked about on social media. They're famous. They have money to blow. They can literally go and buy 5 cars in one day. Like, they have everything that what people would say, everything, you know what I mean? Some people, they have all that and they're still not happy. They're still not happy inside or out. They still some overdose, you know what I mean? So it's really just like, you have to understand, no matter what you do, people are going to talk about you. Good, bad, happy, sad, like, they're going to talk about you. And you got to get to a common ground and realize, am I gonna let it phase me? This video is not to tell you, like, oh, I know a way to not get people to talk about you. Just wear this color today, just wear more makeup, just do this. There's nothing that's gonna stop the world from saying something about you, regardless of what condition you're in, what your life is, how you live your life. It really doesn't matter. They're gonna say what they want about you. So why not appreciate yourself? That way you can tell them, like, your worth. Some people don't know it, so you gotta tell them. Like, you gotta tell people, like, I know I'm a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm all that in a bag of chips. So there's nothing to me you're gonna say to make me feel less of myself or make me hate myself or not love myself. You know what I mean? And like I said, I came a long way. I don't walk around and be like, I always was confident in myself. I always loved myself. I always loved my skin. I always loved myself. Like, I tell people, like, yes, I used to say I was ugly. I used to feel ugly. I used to think I was ugly because these people were telling me that. They were poisoning my brain to think that that's what I was. Less than, ugly, not beautiful because of this skin complexion, hair this way, your body had to be this way. And it's hard in this society. Let's just be honest. Like, I sit here and I be like, I'm kind of scared to bring a daughter in the society, let alone a son. But because of Black Lives Matter and everything like that, having a son is really scary. Like, his life can be taken from him just because of his skin complexion. Like, that is terrible. On top of a daughter, because when you're on social media, even if you're not on social media, walking through the stores, you see these models that are not realistic. They get literally, they have their bodies done. They have weave. They have things to make them and enhance their beauty in a way, like, if they lack something, they can just go and have a doctor give it to them. They don't have the right teeth, they go and get it installed in their mouth. Like, so it makes you feel like, well, maybe I should do that. There's some people that they want money just so they can go and change the way their body looks. And I'm not shaming no one for that. If you want to do that to feel better about yourself, go ahead. But it's better to accept the real you than to go and put something on you that you didn't have and you weren't born with. And instead of accepting your beauty for who and what it is. I always tell people, if I got famous, I would never get anything done on me. Never, because if this is who I am. If you don't love me for who I am, then you're not for me. If you are a friend that brings me down all the time, tells me I'm less than, you're better than me, you're not my friend. Let's just be honest. If your friend does that to you, because I hear people say, oh, my friend tell me I'm ugly, or they don't want to hang out with me, or they think I'm too pretty. If they tell you that, they're not your friends. You need to go find friends that are actually going to make you feel good about yourself. If your friends make you feel bad about yourself, what's the difference between having them or having enemies? You might as well just be by yourself. Let's just be honest. But like I said, over time, I kind of developed into a woman. I was a little girl, it was easy. Our feelings are more sensitive. We're more sensitive when we're kids, first of all. They get offended really fast. Like, everybody knows that. So growing up, I just kind of had to realize, like I went through a stage where I thought I was fat at one point. A lot of my friends were slim. Like, I had one or two friends that were obviously kind of like my size, but a lot of them were thin. And like, I used to be like, oh, I want to be thinner too. Like, I used to think that was just in at the moment, which it was. Like, being bigger was not in back then either. Like, no shame. Like, if you had a little flabby arm, your stomach was fat, you were curvy, you were not in. Like, you were fat. It wasn't thick, it wasn't slim thick, it was none of that. It was, you're fat. Like, sis, you're fat. Go lose some weight. Ew! Now it's like, oh no, you're not fat, you're thick. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay. So personally, I think over time I had to realize, like, I'm not putting in no effort. That if I'm happy with the skin I'm in, I'm gonna eat my pizza, my wings, my fries, all the bad stuff. Because even if I got small, even if you get skinny, even if your hair grows really long, and even if you could bleach your skin and get lighter, which you can, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it because I wanted attention, and I wanted, and stuff like that back then. And now I'm like, I don't want attention. I don't care. Like, I don't care if this person doesn't like me for this, and he wants me to be this way, or she wants me to be that way, or my friend thinks I should be this way. If you're not happy in your own body, then you change for yourself. Don't change for no one else. If someone else tells you, I don't like your veil this way, that doesn't mean you have to change it. Don't change it until you want to change it. Personally, it starts in here. Your confidence starts within yourself. No one's going to be able to tell you you're beautiful if you convince yourself that you're not. Literally. Personally, I think you should start doing what you love. Number one, doing more. If you feel like, you need to be beautiful by enhancing your skin, to do skin routines. Start looking for the best thing for your skin, clearing up your skin. Maybe you have acne, bumps, whatever that makes you feel like you don't love yourself. Then start trying to change those things if you can. Now, as far as your body, you can also get fit. If you feel like you're a little too big, go to the gym. If you don't want to do that, then start to love what you have and what you can't get rid of. Because personally, you can pretty much change anything about yourself, especially nowadays. But without surgery, going to the gym, healthy diet, you can really get there. It does take time. It's not gonna happen overnight, but you have to do that. Look in the mirror and just kind of like point out the things you don't like about yourself, and then point out the things you do like about yourself. And if the things you don't like about yourself outweigh the things you do like about yourself, then there's something wrong. You're gonna have to understand that no one's gonna have the skinniest nose. I hear some girls say like their nose are too big. Personally, I used to like look in the mirror and be like, maybe if my nose was a little skinnier, then I would be prettier. Then as I grew up, I'm like, no, I don't think I would love myself anymore. Nowadays, people are like, oh, inner beauty, outside beauty, but it wasn't like that back then. Like I said, it was really hard to build confidence back then when I was a child. It was hard. Now I know, like, If anyone ever like said, oh, you're ugly today, or they're like, oh, you know, you're fat, or anything that they wanted to say to me, it would not faze me. I personally can't even begin to tell you like how, specifically how I became confident in myself, but it was just over time. Like I told myself, like I accept who I am. You have to just accept it or change it. Like I said, if you don't want to change it, then accept it. And once you accept it, no one can tell you otherwise. No one can tell you otherwise. And that's where I am today. And I came a long way. Like, I used to think this about myself, that about myself, this about myself. I don't look in the mirror and say, ooh, I look this, I need to change that, I'm ugly. I don't do that anymore. And I haven't for a long time. And I think, like I said, it's just really this, that's your answer. Like, just realize what you can't change and accept. Just over years of time, I progressed in my confidence, and I can't tell you what I did at first, but basically just stop caring about what other people think, because some people are just lying to you. Some people are just telling you what they want you to believe. They might call you fat and know that you're not fat, just so you can believe that about yourself. You have to understand that some people are just gonna say the things they want you to say because they just wanna bring you down and break you, and you can't let that happen. As long as you let that happen, you're never gonna love yourself. You're never gonna have confidence. If you believe everything that someone tells you, you're never gonna love yourself. You're never gonna get to that point until you realize, oh, they're lying. Oh, they're just telling me that because they want me to hate myself. They're just telling me I'm ugly because they want me to believe that. But it's not true. Look in the mirror, stare at yourself for hours, and just be like, I love my eyes. I actually like them. I actually think my nose is not the biggest it could be. It could be bigger. You know what I mean? I think my lips are great. They could be bigger. They could be smaller. Personally, when I put lipstick on them, you know, I think they look good. You know what I mean? Full lips look nice with color. As you can see today, I put a little color on. I'm not a lipstick person, but today I decided to do a little something for my viewers. But yeah, so it's just really about telling yourself that, you know, you're confident. If you can't find the confidence in yourself, pray. Ask God to give it to you. Honestly, ask him. Because that's something that you could ask him. You know what I mean? And he will restore that in you. If you can't find it anywhere, he will give it to you. So you just have to pray, you know, about how you feel. Your inner beauty is not gonna just fall from the sky. You create that. So personally, I think you just kind of have to, like I said, get it into your own head that these people are gonna tell you whatever they want to tell you. I personally don't share my insecurities, or I don't really have many anymore, but I did, and I used to tell people my insecurities, and they used to use it against me. If they don't know what you're insecure about, they can't use it as a weapon against you. And that's another thing. Just don't tell anyone. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone, oh, I think my teeth are yellow. Because then when the day that they aren't your friends anymore, they're going to be like, oh, your teeth are yellow. They're going to use that against you, and it's going to destroy you because it is something you already feel insecure about, something you hate about yourself, and then they're going to point it out, and it's going to make you feel bad. Worse, it's going to hurt you in a way that nothing else can. Don't share your insecurities, okay? Keep it to yourself. Don't share the things you love about yourself, because a lot of time I feel like people, if they're not your friends, they're fake or whatever, they're gonna change your mind. Like you say, oh, I love my lips, you know, they're so juicy or whatever, for instance, and then someone's gonna be like, oh, they're not that juicy or something like that. Then they're gonna make you feel like, oh, there goes one more insecurity about myself because that person said that. Don't even give people the satisfaction to tell you about yourself. You know what I mean? It was one day when I was younger, I was like, oh, you know, I like, you know, my hips. I have, you know, curvy hips. And this girl pretends to tell me like, oh, your hips are not that big. It's really your thighs. Your thighs are big, and that makes you look like you have hips, but you really don't have hips like that.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And she was supposed to be my friend. Like, so I'm like, okay, so the whole day I start thinking, well, maybe she's right. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, I guess my thighs are kind of, you know, bigger, and maybe it makes it look like my hips are big. I let her get in my head. Don't do that. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap up the video. My husband is now home. So if you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, and as always, tell your mother, your brother, your sisters, and your